Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Before we get started on this action-packed episode, want to remind you that Thursday, November 16th, we will be live in Chicago at the Lincoln Lodge, baby. Go check out the show. Please bring your friends. We're going to have a lot of fun. And then a month later, December 16th, if you're in LA, Unji's flying out to the West Coast. We're going to be doing some fun shows out here. So buy your tickets now. Both available at Lincoln Lodge and Lyric Hyperion. We can't wait to see you there. All right, let's get into the show. All right, folks, in this week's action-packed episode, I run into someone during a very sad time and am forced to eat his flakes.
And I eat truffles while he eats flakes.
And also, Unji wonders if she is too juicy for this world. What does all that mean? Find out in today's episode of Two Kims, One Pod.
Too juicy for this world.
How do we do this? Oh, yeah.
Peter, keep this in.
There's so many steps. There's so many steps.
Listen, watch Peter's brain melt about something we've been doing every week for 7 years.
No, I know, but now we're like adding sections. So I'm like, whatever. Okay. All right, welcome back to Two Kims, One Pod. I'm your host, Peter Kim.
And I'm your other host, Unji Kim.
And we are the only podcast left in the world. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Please join us on our live shows, like we mentioned. And today we're just going to get right into things, okay? It's time to get into the highlights and lowlights of our week in a very special segment called
Rock Hard Tops and Soft Flaccid Bottoms. Yeah.
My top and bottom is the same this week.
Oh.
So I'm just gonna go right into it. My bottom, absolute bottom, is that our friend and my good friend Jonathan passed away, and they had been fighting a fight with cancer for a long time, and it was in and out of hospitals. So the fact that I got to sit with them a couple days before and hold their hand and, I mean, truly crack jokes till the end. And this person is the most beautiful spirit and
really, yeah,
essence that I've ever. It's just like singular and unique. And when people say one of a kind, they really were. Mm-hmm. And, I'm not saying that they, as much as I want, you're like, oh, they were an angel, a pure light. They were, but at the same time were so petty and held grudges and was so critical of phonies. Like he was very like pony boy energy in that way of like Catcher in the Rye. And, they had such a high standard for the craft of comedy and just art overall. And, they passed Monday, so it's been days, and I've been sitting around going in and out of grief. And, it's really especially difficult when you lose someone younger than you.
Right.
And, they were in their like early mid 30s and struggling with such a like rare cancer. And I just want, if people are listening and you remember them, just remember them as like the beautiful, gorgeous person that got to live so hard. And my heart is broken, so that's definitely my bottom. But I will say I believe in ghosts. Or spirits, espiritu.
Wait, you really believe in ghosts? Spooks?
Yeah, whatever you think. Like some people think it's like jangly chains and like, I'm here to warn you about your future. But like sometimes it's just like a voice in your head or a spirit or like a calming feeling or whatever, So I do, energies wise, like I do believe in it. And so on Monday, when they passed on Monday, And Monday night I had a show booked.
Yeah.
And this is one of the shows that like I sent out like mass messages saying like, I'm panicking, I need spots, so please get me on your show. And this show, I usually don't know what show I have booked. I like look at my calendar and I just show up and I'm like, oh, this is the show, right? I feel bad because Eric's always like, where's your show tonight? I'm like, I have no idea.
I do
have to
that
look
too
at my
all the
Instagram.
time. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I just don't know. So this show that I was going to, I went downtown and do you guys have a Senor Fish in Chicago?
Senor.
Senor Fish.
Ours are Misters. So
Mr. Fish. We have a Senor Fish is like a chain, I guess, down.
or maybe in
LA,
Chicago it's
and
Frog.
Senor Frogs. Yeah. No, that's the like Cancun, Mexico, like whatever party time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a taco place or whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, so it's at a Senor Fish, and I show up. Was not going to go because I felt so shitty and I was like, I'm crying. I've been crying all day. I had lost my voice.
Yeah.
So like my voice was gone and I was like, none of this is going to be funny. But there was something inside me that kept saying like, go. You're going to want to go.
Yeah, I didn't think you were going to go.
You're going to want to
Yeah.
go. And Giuseppe, Jonathan, my friend who passed, would have wanted me to go and to like get up and because they were a consummate artist and a comedian and would have loved for me to have gone to the show. So I was like, I'm going to push myself to go in honor of them. And I kept thinking like, I want to carry them around with me. So like, I want to approach this set with like the absolute joy that they brought to like every set they did. So I was trying to like honor them in that way. So I go show up. There's no one there. It's dark. And I'm like, what is happening? I'm at the wrong place. And I go, okay, well, this is God's way of saying leave. Like, don't go. So I turn around and all of a sudden the host is like, hey, Peter Kim. And I go, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, we're going to get started soon. Come on in. And I'm like, where? What's happening? And he turns on the lights. And the HVAC system is like so loud, and he has like a little microphone and a setup, a microphone and a speaker setup, and it's just me and him.
Shut up!
And I'm like,
no, it's not.
What's happening?
He just started the whole thing because he saw you there.
He saw me. He was like, "Oh, someone's here," and I was like, is this a show? What's happening? When's the show starting? I thought 7:30. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's starting soon. People show up late," and I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, and then a couple of people showed up and they were like, we're here for the open mic. And I'm like, this is an open mic? And they were like, oh yeah, it's a booked open mic, but you'll definitely go up. And I'm like, what? And everybody else like put their names into a bucket. And when I say everyone else, it was 3 people. This straight guy who showed up.
Why even go? Why have the charade of the bucket?
Of a bucket. I know. It's like, do we really? Are we going to run out of time? Like, we're fine. But there was a straight guy, a straight girl. And I could tell, I think there were a couple. And I could tell they were straight because this guy was like, he looked like very like comedy straight guy, disheveled. That like very kind of like, I'm a comedy boy and I don't take care of myself kind of thing. Ugh. And he had like no shade on anyone who suffers from dry scalp, but his right shoulder had so much dandruff. You know what I mean? And that's like only straight man behavior. Cause like even the most unkempt gay man I've seen like would never leave the house shoulder full of dandruff.
Absolutely.
Right?
You just have to do this periodically.
Hello?
Just do this.
Hello? Just
periodically.
Just walk through a gust of wind.
Just
like something.
That's it.
Something. And the girlfriend's not helping.
That's
and the
what I
girlfriend's
mean.
like
It's crazy.
Her scalp's even drier. So like it's blind leading the blind. So I'm like upset. I'm upset at this booked open mic already because it's a booked open mic and there's no one there. And then like total of 5 people trickle in, right? So it's 5 people plus me. And then the host goes, all right, let's get started. And then goes into his set. And then goes, all right, you ready? You want to come? And I'm like, yeah, let's go. Yeah. Like, I want to go off first. I want to get the fuck home. I'm not feeling great.
No.
So this whole time I'm like, Jonathan, what the fuck? Why am I here? Talking to my dead friend. Sure. You know, like, why did you push me here?
Yeah.
And I just get up and I do a couple of bits and I talk about how they passed this morning, and that, you know, what a beautiful person that they were, and they would have really wanted me to be here. So I came here, and I'm glad that I came, and everyone's been very supportive. So thank you for that. And I finished my 6-minute set, and then I about to leave, and that straight man who was there, who was
full
sitting
of
in the front
dandruff,
row,
chock full
of dandruff, runs up to me, okay, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he like grabs my hand, and he goes, "Thank you for saying that." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "I knew Jonathan." And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm actually just moved here from Chicago. I work with them that after school center for 4 years. And I knew they were sick, but I had no idea they had passed. And you're actually, until you said it right now, I didn't know." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you turned out you found out like this."
Yes.
Like, I didn't think anyone would know. Like, what are the fucking odds,
Yes.
right? And he was like, no, it's totally okay. Like, this is exactly how Jonathan would have wanted me to find out at this shitty open mic downtown where there's no one there coming from your mouth. And I was like, you're absolutely right.
From Senor Fish's mouth straight to you. Yeah.
Yes. Barely audible through the HVAC. You know, like, this is exactly the shitty way he would have wanted me to find out. And I was like, oh, well, thanks for saying that. And I go, you know, like, I'm so sorry for your loss. And he goes, I'm so sorry for your loss. And he goes, we don't need to know each other, but come in here. And he hugs me.
Mouthful of
But
dandruff.
he hugs me this way where like my face has to go into the shoulder and my chin is resting on Flakes.
Oh.
Like my... Like my lower lip is trembling because there's like there's dust bunnies like crawling up into my lower lip. I'm like, and he's like half crying, you know, and I'm like, oh my, like, and I push him off of me gently, and I go, I'm so sorry. Thank you for coming up to me. I gotta go. And he's like, yeah, of course, go. And he goes, can I follow you on Instagram? Because I just want to know if there's a memorial or anything, like, you know, maybe you can reach out and like you could let me know, because I'd love to be there, you know, just to show my face and show my respects. And I was like, absolutely, friend me, it's all good. And he was like, okay. And then he friends me right in front of him. He's like, this is you, right? I go, yeah. And I'm like, thank you. And he goes, get in for one more. And he literally pulls me in. And honestly, Unji, when he pulled me in, I was like this. I go, I'm like on his shoulder, like, and the whole time I was like, this is such a like Curb Your Enthusiasm moment.
Yes.
That like, this is why Jonathan made me come, because he knew I was cracking up in the car. I was dying in the car afterwards, because I was like, this could only have happened through divine interference of like some kind of energetic ghastly interference, because like, what are the odds that I'm going to meet this guy at some random open mic downtown, a city full of 8 million people, that I'm going to run into this guy and he's going to force me to hug him onto his dandruff shoulder. And I mean, truly, I've ate a couple of Flakes. I'm like, I'm turning now. Like, truly, I'm going to turn into like a blizzard. Like, something's got,
so
I mean,
gross.
It was so, and I understand it's just dry skin, but the amount that was on the shoulder and the way he didn't hug me towards his other shoulder, he kept hugging me into the flaky shoulder. And I couldn't say no, right? Like, you can't be like, no, thank you. I don't want to hug you. Our friend just died and you just found out. So like, I had to basically like eat shit, like eat Flakes, and just sat there and hugged this random stray guy. And the whole time I was like, Jonathan, you fucking trickster, you fucking piece of shit. So that was my top of the week as well.
Oh my gosh. I mean, truly, to feel his, I don't know, his like skin in your mouth, like that to me is,
oh God.
the skin of it all is
the dead skin.
The dead skin of it all is truly like one of the It's like literally like eating his shit. Like I think
I know,
it's like
yeah.
boogers. It's the same genre of like human detritus. It's like shit, snots,
boogers, earwax,
yes, like all
toe
that stuff.
jam,
Like, it's that. Like it's like the same sort of like
belly button crud.
Yes, that's like
Yeah.
same genre. Oh, but I mean,
I know.
Also, that like Jonathan, like that their spirit led you towards. I mean, really, there. It is very rare to encounter someone, a human being, with as much light and
Yeah.
lightness.
Yeah.
And, it feels, I think, there is no greater evidence of what hell life is when people that are as light and full of lightness as that don't get to be here longer. Right? Like there's like,
Yeah.
it's just truly no greater evidence because,
Truly. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why the good die young.
yes, absolutely.
And the wretched like us live on. That's how I know I'm not going to die young because there's not one part of me people are like, oh, gone too soon. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They would have been like,
surprised she lasted this
Yeah.
long.
honey. They were like, we had 30 for her. You know what I mean?
Where we thought she'd start drinking water at 40, still just Diet
Yeah.
Coke. Like, I mean, truly, there is like no greater evidence of how life is hell than
life is hell.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because
and death is merciful. Like truly. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I was saying that on my set too. I was like, how is it fair that this pure light is gone, extinguished from this world? And someone like me who steals from their first cousins is still alive. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why is...
I stole from Trader Joe's recently. Like, I just was,
Yeah.
I just like, yeah, of course I'll steal. I mean, there is, yes, I think there is no greater testament that life is hell than having at this point experienced like some like tragedy like this in like with other people that are just as light or were like sort of an exemplar for goodness in other people's lives. Like I think it's just pure. There is no greater evidence of life being hell, and that because Jonathan was very special. A very special person. I don't think
one of a kind.
Absolutely. Like I think, I mean, there's just, I having met a ton of people, never met anyone like.
No.
I mean,
Truly.
never. And
Never.
and I think if you were to ask anybody about them, they would say the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
whereas like,
and it's a testament to who they were and how they made everyone they met feel. I mean, just look at their GoFundMe. Mm-hmm. Like how jealous I was of how much they were able to raise.
you weren't jealous.
It's crazy. The amount
Peter,
they asked for $60K, they made $100K. I'm like, there's no way I could ever come close to this. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's why.
I wouldn't even ask for $60K. I'd be like, I have 5 friends. Each of them will give me $100. You know what I mean? Like, just the fact of how much money, and I know money's not the like whatever like equivalent of love or whatever, but and they didn't even do one GoFundMe. They did 3 GoFundMes.
Yes.
And they made over their asking amount each time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm afraid to do one GoFundMe because I'm not going to reach it, And like, how embarrassing is it to not reach your goal? And there's some of these sites that if you don't reach your goal, you don't get any of your money.
Really?
That's like, like Kickstarter, like you have to reach the goal or you don't get any of the money.
I mean,
I know.
GoFundMe is like the new insurance. Like there's no.
Yeah.
I mean,
health
just
insurance. Yeah. Everyone who's like going through cancer treatment or whatever,
You gotta
or like
start a GoFundMe. I mean,
raising GoFundMe.
Truly, like
Oh
again,
my
this is a
God.
callback to the last episode, but we got to call our reps. Like, I mean, in terms of healthcare, like if we're leaning on GoFundMe's and people liking you in order for you to survive cancer, honey,
Who would be alive? Truly. Like it takes like one of a kind unique light like him
only
to
angels. Only angels need apply. It's wild because, yeah, I mean, it's truly a testament. Very special. I'm glad that you had that experience because you were going back and forth. I didn't think you were going to go. It's crazy.
Me neither, but I'm really glad I went.
A mouthful of dandruff for your trouble.
I'll never forget that.
My top. Well, yeah, my top was and bottom happened on the same day as well. My bottom was So I had a show on Halloween. I've been really fucking up lately. Like I've been double booking myself or like not understanding what dates or times are. Like I keep thinking things are starting at a certain time. It's hours later. Or I keep thinking things are, it's just really bad. I forgot about Halloween. Okay. I am a parent of 2 young children. Halloween is sacrosanct. Like you gotta get this candy. This is a huge deal in the children's community, and you know what I mean. In the child community, like this is a big deal. And I totally forgot. I also had this show that started at 7. It started early, and so I fucked up and I couldn't go out. I just really disappointed everybody in my life that day. And
you couldn't go trick-or-treating?
I did not. I managed to, the day before, kind of figured it out, hodgepodge childcare, and no one got to see my daughter in a cute strawberry costume out on the streets. But it was also fucking snowing. Aww. I know. And then I literally was outside with my son for like 20 minutes, and then I had to leave. So I just fucked up. So that's my low. The sort of crushing, the weight of what it is to try to be responsible for an incredible amount of emotional labor and also be so bad at it. And, but the high was the same night watching my friend Maggie Winters, who will also be at our live show November 16th at Lincoln Lodge. Peter, when I tell you she crushed in a way that was like I could tell she was losing her mind. Like she was in a pocket. I've watched you do it. You've watched me do it. Like where you're like, oh, this bitch is doing it and in a pocket and she has control over the audience where like just like all small jokes are getting the rolling laugh because the audience knows that's what she wants. And she got off stage and like I could tell like not in her own body because she was
not on Earth. Yeah.
And like that. And so to watch it in my friend and really watch her be a goddamn star. Like people had come out for her there. She was being gracious and patient. And it was just felt like there's a Jewish word called nakas, which means like pride in your children. And, there was, in the same day, I'd really disappointed my children and not shown up as a mother. But in this other moment, I felt such maternal pride for my friend. Like, if really, I think I understand more intimately. Like, I've probably felt this with like very few friends, but like where your success is genuinely feels like my success. And that's what it felt like. I mean, I couldn't have been prouder. Like I took pictures of, you know what I mean? Like making sure.
That's usually not how you process other success. That's almost opposite of what you usually do.
I would say I am consumed with, No, but this
pettiness,
was like,
jealousy,
bitterness, all the ways in which my own life hasn't turned out the way I thought. And,
a natural way to feel with your friends. But she's also very rootable in a way where there are friends of ours where I love them, but their success wouldn't be as rootable as someone like Maggie's for some reason. It's just I don't know why.
Well, she's so earnest and people like
that's
her
what it
so
is.
much.
The authenticity.
Absolutely.
It's her authenticity that makes me go like, yeah, only you can do this. Only you can be you. So go be you as much as possible.
And it feels like it was very exciting. And for me, like, it feels crazy. And that's why I think it felt so maternal. And that's why it was such a contrast to how I felt like literally 2 hours prior to that. And then being able to feel like this maternal pride, it was really exciting. And I felt high from it. And it was, you know, I mean, again, my set was good. I also did well. But it was the like pride I felt in her and really watching her step into like stardom. Like I'm talking people like waiting in line and like wanting to take pictures with her. Like and I was taking pictures for her. That like it felt really good, and that was a high for me. That's like, I mean, friendship, love. You know, just kind of tie the segment is. I think for us in particular, like having such complicated relationships with our family, you know, I feel like I've learned to love more unconditionally within my friendships than I have ever with my family.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
And it's been such a gift.
I think you get to practice unconditional love with your friends, your chosen family, if you will. But with our family, we can't practice unconditional love because they're not coming to the table to practice.
They're like, playing for keeps.
We can do it one way, all we want. But it'll never be reciprocated.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And not because it's like a human I mean, I guess you could call it that, but like it's not their flaw that they can't unconditionally love. It's like epigenetic. Like that's all they learned culturally. Like there's no cultural version of like, I love you no matter who you decide to be in Korea. You know what I mean? What? That's not a thing.
Wait,
you have quotas to meet. You have schools to get into. You have professions to slide up into. And you have business cards for me to give out to my church friends. Like that's how it works. There's no room for unconditional love. But and I feel bad for people like still stuck in Korea who at least we're Korean American and we have like a different version of it that we can practice with our like, I don't know, white friends. But like in Korea
I practice this on you, Peter. Like this is very bad.
Yeah.
You know, like it is.
True. We practice on each other.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Like I think that is sort of the gift of being here, surely, but also the world and friends. I think for whatever reason we've been mentally healthy enough to make these kind of choices. Because if we were in a different sort of space, and I could very much attest to in my early 20s, I would not have been making these choices. So I think it's for sure like a testament to our
We could
growth.
not be doing this podcast in our 20s.
No.
There's no way. I wouldn't show up. I would have self-sabotaged this.
Oh yes, I'm still trying to. Wait, Peter.
What? Who's here?
There's someone at the door. Wait, you guys.
Let him in.
You guys, it's time for that
Drama llama ding dong.
This week my trauma is. I was remembering this. I was watching this like female comic set, and I was remembering she was talking about female discharge, and you know that like women are juicy, right? Like that there's just like kind of a steady leaky faucet of things.
Yeah, lucky you. I've heard of such tale. Let me tell you, the leakiness is. Okay, go. Tell me first because I have something to add to the leak.
Okay, so. Okay, this is the Watergate, the leak. So yeah, Watergate, truly, leaking.
Yeah.
I would distinctly.
If only that was water coming out of that gate.
It's a different kind of lubricant. I used to never forget. Like it was one of the. Maybe I was. This is like pre-puberty though, and I was in Korea, and we were my i모들, like all my mom's sisters, my aunts we were visiting like their ancestral home, like we were in the in the country. And we were all, I was naked. There's pictures of it. And they were doing the laundry in the river. You know, when you're like in like
with stones.
With stones. Literally.
Hitting
There's,
with stones.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's like in historical dramas, if you guys watch K-dramas, you know that they're in the river washing clothes with stones. And that's what they were doing.
By the way, the stone thing is like an analog to like a washboard, if you will.
Yes.
Like something like textural that you can like rub stains up against and etc. Anyway, go on.
But yeah. Okay, are you a millionaire? You got a washboard? Okay, so...
Just my abs.
Yeah. Okay.
No. Yeah, right.
But like, so they were washing my underwear, and that they were so disgusted by the amount of juiciness that I was as a preteen that they went to my mother and asked that I go see a doctor, a medical professional immediately. Because like they were saying, this girl is too juicy. She's too juicy and it's not right. And I had the shame I felt for being what I thought was a normal level of juicy.
Right.
Turned out it wasn't. And then
it turns out it wasn't?
I don't know.
Because did you have any cousins your age that were possibly like they could like measure up the juice against?
Yeah, okay, so the only other cousin I had was so mean and also very dry. She was like one of those like classic like, you know, she's an Esther Grace playing volleyball. You know what I mean? Tall, thin, you know.
Arid pussy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dry.
Sounds like it.
Like, you know, everything is like very cute and tight and tucked in. Mine's like, like it's loose, it's out there, it's deli meat. And it's leaving.
Ew, deli meat. By the way, did you know Subway is slicing their meats fresh now?
Oh, they think that's the problem?
That just reminded me of deli meats.
It's like crazy.
I don't know if you know, but Subway used to have meats pre-cut that they would just
of course.
add onto the bread. But now they're doing the Jersey Mike thing and like shaving the
Is
meats
that
right
what
in
the
front of
problem
you.
is? Like the... I don't understand. Like that's the problem.
Pre-slicing?
The pre-slicing? They think that's the problem. Like, you know what? This will not...
This will solve it.
Is it?
This will make this not taste like shit. Let's slice it right in front of them.
Is it?
I don't know. Maybe it's like a mental thing that when people see the meat being sliced, they're like, "Oh, that's fresh."
Quality. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been to Subways in years. I'm a Jimmy John's.
And I never will.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, go on. Your deli meat's flapping out, and your
No, it's just more like the shame I felt over my body inside of that instant, and I never
that
talked
it was something bad.
And it was something
that
bad.
It was something disgusting.
That what it naturally did was bad, and I was just like, I think I carried that with me well into my 20s. Like I never talked about it. It was just like my mom telling me that, and like us going to a doctor, and the doctor being like, I don't. You know, she's so young. I mean, like, I guess she's
normal.
Juicy. Yeah. What do you want? I mean, like, she's just wet. She's just juicy. Like
I know, and I feel like as a child that might be annoying because they have to keep doing your laundry. But as an adult, this is where I'll add my thing is that like being juicy, I feel like is a great thing because there's so much stuff that goes into juicing it up in general, like. All these things like foreplay or hormones or whatever the fuck to get it ready for whatever, you know, for action. You're lubed up, baby. I wish I was juicy.
I'm not juicy like that during that time.
Honey, all I got is just talk about your cousin being dry. Like it is the Sahara. My pussy's a Sahara. Like I need like outside help. You know what I mean? Like I can't have sex without Walgreens. You know, like.
But I mean, it's not like my juiciness enhanced my sexual experience ever. It was always just like, at all. It's just drip. It's not like I'm like getting especially juicy for sex. I'm just drippy. It's like, you know.
Okay. But I would think that would help, no? Because it's.
I mean, it's not like it revved up.
It's the same place, isn't it? Forgive me if I'm wrong. Anatomically, is it juicing from the different place?
It's juicing from the same place, but it's like you need. You know, it's not like I'm getting like more juicy during sexy times. I'm just staying the same level of like Juice, like moist.
Yeah, moist.
But it needs.
That's great. I mean, do you never have to apply Astroglide, gun oil, boy butter?
Still, because it's not enough. It's a lip balm. It's not lip juice. Like it's just slight. Slight. It's a sheen.
Okay.
It's a sheen. So
it's like what a slug leaves behind. The trail. It's a snail trail.
It's a snail trail.
You had a little snail trail coming out of your okay.
But it's a dry snail. It's not even like a juicy snail. It's just it's actually very much like deli meat. You know when you put it on and you got that film? That's what it's like.
Oh my God. Not deli meat film talking about your pussy. No. Anyway, this is why we get demonetized. LOL, as if we are monetized. But
I mean, we talked about Subway.
Okay, right. So you so that sucks that they shamed you for that. Did you feel like you needed to like quote like fix that about yourself?
Absolutely, always. I was very self-conscious about it.
How would you go about trying to fix it? Like,
I mean, I didn't really do
10 pounds early or nothing? Okay,
I mean, I was trying to do
panty
stuff.
liners?
Yes, I did all these things. Panty liners, like this, that, you know what I mean? Like I was always trying to fix or like looking these things up. But I mean, I also, I have very bad, it's just not good down there. Like I always have a ton of yeast infections. It's not good. And so,
a ton?
A ton.
I didn't realize yeast infection could multiply.
I'm telling you, when I say it's like Subway, I'm talking about the entire sandwich.
It's bready.
It's bready.
It's bread.
It's bready, and there's a little bit. There's a little bit of not safe deli meat in the middle, and then it's bready. That's what I mean. It's like it's not good. So, but the insecurity about
poor husband.
What do you mean? He's eating. Subway's still food.
You'll never go hungry.
You'll never go hungry, and it's a reasonable price. So.
Oh my God, your pussy might be like Subway, but no one's eating fresh. All right. My drama this week. I might have covered this in previous episodes, but I had an older cousin growing up. His name's Quan. He's still around. He's a Republican. He's the one who, when I visited his house before he let me into his house, he said, "I'm a Republican. You'll respect my views."
Oh yes, I remember. Yes,
remember him?
Yes, yeah. Yes.
Shout out.
Yeah.
He's not watching this. If it's not on Barstool Sports, he's not on it.
Yes.
Anyway,
we'd love to be on Barstool. Okay, so
please. Anyway, I had an older cousin who was like one of these Korean kids, who was like a black belt in 3rd grade.
Wow.
Do you know these kids?
Yes.
Who like started early and they got their like 8th dan or whatever. Yeah. So by the time he was like 12, 13.
I mean, he was going to the dojo every day.
Every day. That was like his thing.
Yeah.
He runs a dojo now.
Yeah.
So like it worked out, right? So he was one of these kids like who knew exactly what he wanted to do, which was a taekwondo like master or whatever.
I mean, that is a gift. Like people that know what they want to do very young and like feel
very young. Yeah, exactly. And he got into it and he's successful and whatever. But anyway, he's 5 years older than me. So when he was 13, I was 7, 8, whatever. And he used to make me and my age cousins all get into taekwondo outfits and fight each other. And he would referee it, right? And this was his little like fiefdom that he had power over.
Absolutely.
And he'd be like, you two match each other up. And then the 2 younger kids have to match each other up. And we would like fight each other. Yeah. And he would like, when it gets too crazy, he would like break it up or whatever. But I was me growing up. So I was very like emotional and sad, and I love to read in the corner. So like he really did not get along with me.
Yeah.
And my younger cousin Arthur, who was just like him, Like he was like masculine and like loved getting into fights
Sure.
and playing football and basically very like straight presenting aggro
Yeah.
Korean kid. And I was like the softie in the corner, like dreaming up worlds, you know, like
Yeah.
so it was clear that whose favorite was like Juan's favorite.
Sure, of course.
Right? So we would like, he would always get us into these things and fight. And Arthur would like be like, we were not supposed to get like that physical where you're just supposed to do karate moves, but Arthur would like cheat or something and like throw me into the chair or like pull my hair or like play dirty.
Yeah.
And Quan would always like overlook it. You know what I mean? Because he was his favorite. And it's
Sure.
like, oh, I guess you're not strong enough. Like, what are you going to do about it? And I remember that being like such a, like, he was the authority figure.
Absolutely.
And like, I couldn't, like, I was like, help,
Yes.
come on. And he was like, I don't know. Like, it was like the first instance of an authority figure just looking the other way.
Being of no help. You're alone.
Not just of no help. He is the architect of my pain and my,
Actively
you know what I mean?
engaging
He's like,
in it. Yes. Participant.
yeah, like
yes.
drawing it up and
Yeah.
making it happen and not blowing the whistle because, you know, whatever. And like, I remember thinking like, oh, wow, there's no way for me to win in this situation. Like, even if I like was strong enough to beat up my cousin or whatever,
Sure.
like he would have like ruled it unfair against me or whatever, you know, like, and it was like such an early like realization of how life's not fair.
Yes.
You know, like your own family doesn't have your back.
Do you remember
what I
how you
mean? Like-
handled the rest of that? Like how you dealt with it?
I think I started crying and stopped playing. I went to my mom and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And my mom was like, then don't. And I'm like, oh. And then I was always that little bitch ass that like told on my cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I was the snitch. And I did get stitches for that. And
And that's
my
a
cousins
lesson.
would. But I never learned that lesson because I'm like, give me stitches. At least you're going to jail. You know what I mean? Like we're going down together. You know, like that's how I always thought of it. I never learned the lesson of like, shh, don't say anything because,
Interesting.
you know, you don't want to be that guy. I'm like, no, say it now so that everyone's going down. Like I'm very scorched earth. You know, so it's like if I'm going down, then everybody I know is going down with me.
You know what's crazy is I recently was talking to my son about, let me give you this thing that my son was telling me yesterday. He was losing his mind and he revealed to me that he was being bullied at school and that he was, yes, and that these kids, as he said, have been roasting him every day. And then he said the following, Peter. He said, they come up to me and they say, you got your face from the butt store and your butt from the face store. And I was like, that's good.
That's hilarious. That's a good butt if you got it from a face store.
But I mean, it was like, and it was just, I laughed out loud. He was coming to me for sympathy.
Oh no, for help.
And I was like, bah, that's good.
Yeah, you do look like your dad. Fucking butt face. You're holding your daughter. You're beautiful.
But like, he was asking me for help. And I've had the same lessons because my cousins also, like, my cousins were constantly trying to get me to go into the apartment building's dryer, you know, because it was like an industrial sized dryer.
Oh my God.
And they were trying to get me
So they could turn it on and spin it.
Yeah. So,
Oh no.
but you know what I mean? Where it's like, yes, they are the architects of your own doom. You realize
Yes.
you can't trust. But I came out of it feeling like I feel like what we've learned is like, yeah, you got to make your own moves. Like no one is going to help you. No adult is there. Like no one understands.
Yeah, I guess I learned that I have to be the boss.
Yes.
And I have to, you know, like pass this type of trauma onward to someone else. That's what I learned. I have to like architect some kind of fight club within kids younger than me. But yeah, you're right. Like it's like an early thing of like, I can't trust anyone in my family. No one is here for me.
No.
Okay. And that's how I feel about my family now.
Absolutely.
there are cousins that I'm like cool with. Next episode, next week, I'll talk to you about my conversation with my gay cousin.
Oh, yes.
We caught up after 20 years of not talking for no other reason but like we fell apart.
Yeah.
Just like families do. Nothing against him, but I've learned a lot since catching up with him, and like he's filled me into stories where there's like like he met up with a brother that he didn't know about. Secret family shit. Yeah, I'm like, so like we'll get into that in the Patreon next week. Oh yeah, guys, check out the Patreons. We're doing Patreon exclusive content every week now. So like there's going to be some stuff that you're going to want to listen to.
It's one of the bitch.
Speaking of getting into it, it's that time for our final segment where we introduce something we're absolutely obsessed with. So sit back and
Bitch, get into it.
all right, today what I am talking about is a show on Disney Plus.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think I would like it either, but
Wait, are we
started
allowed
it
to talk? Are you allowed to talk about this? You're not in. Okay, sorry.
Oh, because of the SAG strike.
Yeah, but you're not in it, right?
I'm not in it.
Okay.
I just enjoy it.
Okay.
But am I allowed to? Whatever. It doesn't. I don't care. I don't care anymore. Whatever. Disney Plus. If you have it, if you don't have it, steal it from a friend. Go watch Goosebumps. Goosebumps on Disney Plus. Now the books back in the day, you and I grew up with the books, Scholastic, Readers Club. Remember Book Club?
R.L. Stein, love
book sales.
Yes,
Right. They were really scary, and they were like perfect for our age group. It was like just scary enough, but not like gruesome or gory or whatever.
It didn't create existential angst or like crises.
Yeah.
Like it was just like
it was like spooky. Yeah.
It literally is just Goosebumps. Yeah.
Goosebumps. But I didn't think it was. I was like, Goosebumps. It's a childhood thing.
Yeah.
It's not for me. Disney Plus is very like family, blah blah blah. But Disney Plus has been getting into some programming that's like more adult.
Yeah.
And less like kitty fun. You know. And I gotta say, Goosebumps. Whoever's writing on that, whoever's developing that, really smart.
Yeah.
Because they took one town and introduced all the characters in the first episode. And admittedly, the first episode when I watched, I was like, what is... Because Goosebumps is like anthological. Each book is like its own
Monster of the Week.
Right?
It's Monster of the Week, yeah.
Yes. So I was like, oh, this is going to be anthological. Turns out it's not. They cast an entire town of like people, like high school students and their parents. And they week by week, they start shifting the perspectives from like character to character, and you're reintroducing the character into. Oh yeah, in episode 1 they were at that party, but they were in the background, and then now they're in the foreground, and we're exploring how that connects to that first monster thing, and like it's really smart and well done.
Wow,
and it's not like oh my god, scary like. Like Talk to Me or something where it's going to be like psychologically disturbing. It's more like the books where it's like spooky, scary, jump scares, but also like creepy, like, oh, why is this happening? What? And there's this like season long arc of a mystery that they're unraveling as the kids deal with all this like evil stuff or whatever. It's really cool and very good storytelling. And I mean, if you are a parent or if you're into like spooky stuff, I would really check it out. And if you're any type of creative, I think it's a good thing to check out because it's really, they're ahead of you every single episode. Like, I haven't seen a drama or a TV series where I'm not ahead of it. It's really like smart and well-crafted storytelling. And it's just a joy to watch something like that. So go check it out.
That's good. I mean, like
let's get into
anything that is for children that adults can enjoy is always a bar. It's a high bar.
Yes.
Like
it's a high bar.
Absolutely. Like
co-viewing, they call it.
Being able to do that.
It's a tough thing to ride.
And especially if adults can really enjoy it. Like I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched any of like the Lego franchise movies, like Lego Batman. They're all like that. They're very good.
Oh yeah.
High bar, like kids
That's
like
Lloyd
it.
and Miller, Christopher Lloyd. And,
it's so good. And also Lemony Snicket, which is on Netflix, same thing. Like for children, but there's like a sort of like a level
Elevated.
to elevated
Yeah.
sort of like reference level taste and storytelling. There's like pure art of storytelling, which it turns out is very hard to do. So
Very hard. Very hard to do.
So
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Check it out. It's really good. Even though like spooky season's over, I think it still holds up as like a good like narrative thing.
Oh, yeah, everyone likes a good goosebump whenever.
Yeah.
My bitch get into it this week is truffle pasta.
Oh. Wait. Truffle shaved on pasta?
It is the truffle dust is inside of the pasta. I literally don't know how it came up inside of my Amazon search. I was just looking for Italian pasta, and I guess Amazon was like, this bitch is addicted to financial ruin, so we're gonna send her this. It is expensive. I'm not gonna lie. It's expensive.
How expensive?
It is $14 for a
For one packet?
Didn't you just hear me say there's
Bichosa.
truffles in it?
No, I know, but $14 for one box of pasta?
No, one box of pasta, but wait, it's
What?
4 servings.
Okay.
That's not bad.
I don't know if I trust the servings thing. People say, sometimes the pasta things, they're like 9 servings. And I'm like, bitch, I ate this whole thing in one sitting. What do you mean? You tell me I'm 9 people? No. Who are you asking? Who's a serving for?
Who's serving us? I mean, like, is this serving me? I'm saying that, like,
Okay, so
I'm telling
it's
you right
not-
now.
It's at least you could feed a family, is what you're
Yes,
saying, with one box.
A full family,
Okay.
2 times,
All right.
2 meals. So it's 2.5 adults, 2 times. That's pretty
Okay.
good. It's
For 14 bucks, fine.
And I'm telling
For just the noodles.
but I mean, I don't need to do anything else to it. I'm telling you, it's like
That's how good it is?
it
Okay,
was.
tell me how you prepared it.
I did it with like tuna, and I made it like peas and like asparagus. I made it like very thin and just water,
Veggies.
pasta water and cacio like a cacio pepe like parmesan, and it was
Oh my God,
spectacular.
I'm so hungry. Oh my God.
I did another one with just the truffle pasta and like garlic and some like canned tuna.
Bitch, I'm so basic. I love truffle. I love truffle on anything.
It's really, really good. It elevates.
Is it black truffle or white truffle?
Black.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It really elevates like the meal. Like otherwise, this would have been like a very regular weeknight meal. No
Yeah.
leftovers. None. On
Wow.
a pasta night, no
The
leftovers.
funk. People love the funk.
It was so good.
Wow.
I thought about it
Wow, wow,
afterwards.
wow. Yummy. So you didn't prepare it with a tomato sauce. You just did it kind of like olive oil and fresh veggies
I
or whatever?
honored the truffle.
Wow. Oh my God. My mouth is watering. Shit. I'm so hungry. I love truffles. I have this truffle oil that I love
Yes.
from Home Goods. That, by the way, Home Goods also, bitch, get into it for pastas and sauces.
Yes.
These are things that you won't find anywhere else because they're either discontinued or they like only like the TJ Maxx brand buys it or whatever.
Yes.
But they always have like amazing gnocchi, the best pastas. And it's like cheap too.
Yes.
Like you could probably find a version of that truffle pasta at like a Home Goods or a TJ Maxx or a Marshalls or something like that. TJ Maxx also has really great sauces. So
We're
anyway, but yours
Maxinistas
is
here.
from Amazon?
Amazon. I mean, it's a very unique. I mean, it may be the whatever version of it, but I would just say that if you've ever wanted, like, if you're. You're kind of suffering a little bit from like pasta fatigue. Like this is like
Great way to change it
just
up.
kind of change it up, and you don't have to do
And what
shit
kind
to
of
it.
cut was the pasta?
It's a very thin, long noodle. It's called tagliatelle or whatever like that, and it's
Oh,
a very
thin and long.
long. It's like it looks like angel hair, but it's not. It's like slightly
Yeah,
different
yeah.
shape. But it was
interesting.
incredible.
Okay.
It was. I've thought about it since. It was
Even that pasta water, I bet, is amazing. When you boil that water, you should save that starch water to like put it into different soups or something like that.
I 100% used it in the soup that's the pasta sauce that I made for the pasta. So I just saved that pasta water,
nice.
and then I
Okay,
reused
that's
it
great.
as with like with Parmesan.
Beautiful.
I mean, it was really
Beautiful.
good. Like
God, I'm fucking hungry now.
I mean, truly, like, you know, there are sometimes cheats towards like gourmet cooking that oftentimes is just this. You spend $3 extra on something.
It's just truffle.
It's just truffle, or it's just like buy like an extra special version of X. You know, like tin fish.
Even like a good ass olive oil sometimes will really elevate something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And especially if you don't cook it, if you just dress it with it, it's like it has that like deep olive, like really rich taste.
Yes.
And also this is all Italian stuff, but like also really not expensive, but nice balsamic vinegar.
That changes
the
the game.
That comes out like honey.
Yes.
Like the thick. You know, there's that balsamic vinegar where it's just like, ugh, this is watery and just dressing. And then there's the shit that goes on, like, you're like, is this a ribbon? You know, like that kind of shit.
That's what's coming out of me. That's the kind of out of me.
Oh. Ew. Yuck.
And that's our episode.
If only Subway meat had a great balsamic vinegar on it. Yeah, right, bitch. Wretched. All right. Thanks so much for joining us this week for our episode. We'll be back next week. Please check out our Patreons and our review us. And also, we're going to be live, so come to our live shows.
Please.
We'd love to see you there.
Bye.
All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.